What is up, hotties? Welcome back to another episode of Stay Hot. I'm Blaiden Kirk, joined as always by my two favorite co-hosts of all time in Matthew Sponhour and Theo Ash. We have a great episode planned for you all today. I know the All-Star Weekend events have been going on, but with their kind of lackluster or lack of enthusiasm, I think today we're just going to do a mock draft. Well, we all did a mock draft, and we're going to recap those. But before we get into that, Matt, Theo, how are you guys doing today?
I'm wonderful. I'm recovering from COVID, and I feel mostly good now. Just a couple days. Stayed inside, been getting a lot of DoorDash, so it's not all bad.
It was funny because in the last episode we were bragging about how none of us had it, and then things.
It's funny because I immediately took a COVID test after and immediately tested positive for COVID.
Yeah,
it lasted all about 20 minutes.
Yeah, the first domino.
Tough.
Yeah, that aged poorly. Our worst take, worse than the Bengals take, is that no Stay Hot members had COVID. Instantly disproved.
It hasn't been too terrible. It's mostly just a headache, and I was still able to do the mock draft. So
we're gonna get into this mock draft, and the picks are just gonna make no sense. Matt, what are you talking? Made sense when I made it. It's not Devin Lloyd.
That's gonna be how. That's literally how mine was. I did mine last night after I went out last night and I got
Dude,
back,
you can't be this insecure about your mock draft. I asked him what quarterback. He's like, I only have two. How many do you have? He's got Corral and Howes. There's only two quarterbacks in the first round.
And
be bold.
I woke up this morning. I was like, what did I do? But yeah, as always, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's no one's birthday, but we would still appreciate it. No holidays going on, but we would still appreciate if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel. Keep helping this podcast grow on all platforms, really.
It's President's Day tomorrow.
I'm wearing the Stay Hot hoodie. You guys wearing the Stay Hot hoodie?
No. It is President's Day tomorrow, though, and as the presidents of Stay Hot, you should subscribe on our
the presidents of Stay Hot.
And by tomorrow, we mean today, because that's when this episode is going to release, most likely.
All right.
Anyway,
well, we can just hop right into this mock draft. I don't know who wants to start us off, Theo or Matt or myself.
Well, I'm willing to bet me and Matt have the exact same pick at number 1, and that's Evan Neal.
Yeah,
and we talked about this in the last episode. Anytime, again, their tackles are Cam Robinson and Juwan Taylor, right? And those are two players. They're not absolute total liabilities, but one's a free agent. The other has been trending down as their career has gone on. So switching those guys out with a dude who is 6'7", he's going to have one of the freakiest combines we've ever seen from a tackle. That's pretty much a guarantee. First on Bruce Feldman's freak lists, and Bruce Feldman does not mess around when making those. All right. If you watch videos of Evan Neal working out, the dude is box jumping and on a balance beam and doing all these crazy things. So a Bama guy, he's huge. He's athletic. He's got pretty good technique. Some balance things to clean up. But overall, it's probably
Bama offensive line is usually a good bet. I also have Evan Neal.
It's
going number 1.
Yeah, so. We don't need to go too much. We have 32 picks to get through in an hour. They need a tackle. I think they want to use their first overall pick to help Trevor Lawrence. Cam Robinson's a free agent. They're going to probably have to overpay him if they want to keep him. So Evan Neal, consensus number 1 tackle. They could go with any of the 3 tackles here, whoever they like best. But Evan Neal, since he's consensus 1, gets slotted in here for me.
Yeah.
Number 2.
On to number 2, the Lions?
Yeah, number 2 is the Lions.
I had Aiden Hutchinson.
I also have Aiden Hutchinson, and I don't love
I also have Aiden Hutchinson.
They kind of need... It's not their biggest need, edge rusher.
No, it's not.
They're very much a team that I expect to go BPA and maybe take into account the fact that this is a Michigan guy and the fact that it's a position of value. And all those things combined, it's just we want to take a shot on a guy who maybe can be a game changer on defense. And that's at a position of extreme value when you kind of have a weird top couple picks of the draft here. So I think that makes sense for them.
Yeah. In an ideal world, you've got Trey Flowers at edge, and you've got Romeo Aquara at edge, who they signed last year. Aquara only started 4 games last year. Trey Flowers started 7 and then 5 the year before that and hasn't started all 16 games or 17 games now. His entire run in Detroit. So I don't know if you can really. That's an okay edge rushing duo of Flowers.
Charles Harris played very well.
And Charles Harris played all right this year. So
I wonder if Flowers is off the team. It's a lot of money, but yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing is like if you trust Flowers to stay healthy, maybe they go in a different direction. But I don't know how you can at this point. I mean, he hasn't started all 16 games once in his whole career. All right. So yeah.
The Lions have a lot of needs. And I know like if you do it on Pro Football Focus, I think their number one need other than quarterback is listed as receiver.
Yes.
But I've been thinking about this. I was looking at like, some analytics and stuff, advanced analytics for my Cooper Cup video. And Amon-Ra St. Brown,
he's good. He's really good.
I think he's poised for a breakout year, like a really good sophomore season.
We should clarify that we are saying what we think the teams will do.
Yes.
Not what we would do.
And the reason for that is just because I think if we do what we would do in this first mock draft, it kind of closes the door on doing other mock drafts because that doesn't change as much as what I think teams could do. Like what I think I would do is I don't want, every draft to kind of start the same. But yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that we just picked Aiden Hutchinson and then we were like, well, they don't really need it. They do. Like they do.
Yeah, that's the explanation. We should have said that to start with. But
yes, they do need it. Like, yes, they have some edge rushers there in the stable, but they're not particularly healthy. And you would like Romeo Aquara is a nice player and Charles Harris was a nice player this year, but Aiden Hutchinson can be at a level a little bit above that. Reminds me a little bit of the other Michigan edge rusher, Rashawn Gary, who is probably not a sexy comp, but I was talking about this earlier. Rashawn Gary had an amazing year. He had an amazing year, and he did it with not with elite bend and running the arc and dipping his hip and getting around like you see like a Von Miller do. Like that's not Aiden Hutchinson's game. He doesn't have like what either Bosa did in terms of like his hips there, but he is really high motor. He's really smart, which is the white stereotypes, but it is true. Like he does have someone like my daughter really hot all the time. So does Gary. Really strong, and then just like brutal, like an intensity to the way they play, and that's similar size. Both went to Michigan, and you'd be happy with a Rashawn Gary or a Trey Hendrickson caliber player, which is what I think that Hendrickson will probably not Hendrickson. Hutchinson will probably end up being, which isn't as sexy as Bosa, but those are still some really, really good players.
On to the Texans. I have them taking Kyle Hamilton. I think all of us have them taking Kyle Hamilton.
I'm also have them taking Kyle Hamilton.
Hopefully we'll get it. I figured the first 3 picks were going to be the same.
Yes.
He's really good. They need a lot of players.
He's the best player in the draft. You're gonna get him. You're gonna get him at pick 3. That's incredible value. I like. You
just need good players if you're the Texans. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
He
can play a lot of positions, so he fills a couple of voids.
Kyle Hamilton is so good. He can just do so many things.
Watch my YouTube video on Kyle Hamilton and you'll see the vision.
Yeah, that's what we'll say about the Kyle Hamilton pick. Go watch Theo's YouTube video.
Go watch Theo's video on Kyle Hamilton. Moving on to pick number 4. Oh, wait, no, we're not there. Okay. Moving on to pick number 4, the Jets. I have them taking Derek Stingley Jr.
That's interesting because I also have them taking Derek Stingley Jr., but I got a lot of shit for that pick, and I'm not sure if I'm right about that. I don't know if that's correct.
I have them taking Kayvon Thibodeau.
Okay.
Thibodeau. The number of corners taken in the top 5 is incredibly low. So for a guy to be like that, they need to be, the perfect prospect. And Stingley 2019 tape is that type of player. But we're not talking about Stingley 2021 tape. And even if that's just because of injuries, it's not a good thing. I have a hard time stomaching taking a cornerback who has such a risky injury history, no matter how good they are, that high. Thibodeau falling to 4 feels like a big win for a team that needs a lot of players. So that's what I would do if I were the Jets. Well, that's what I think the Jets would do.
I think that after the combine, we'll start seeing Stingley getting taken really high as kind of a buzzy thing, because that guy is a freak of nature. All right. His hips are so smooth, like going in and out of breaks. He's going to crush the agility drills. He's huge. He's strong. He's going to crush the bench press. He's going to crush the 40-yard dash with a really good 10-yard split. He's going to jump high. He's going to, like, after that combine performance, I think that people are going to be like, whoa, okay, let's
if his athleticism jumps off the screen at the combine, then it'll
remind everybody.
It'll almost be like a John Ross, like when John Ross broke the 40 record and he got drafted.
That's a really interesting comparison.
Yeah, he'll be just awesome. Like John Ross. But I think
I'm not saying he's John Ross. I'm just saying
maybe I am underrating how a team will take a shot on that, but. Me personally, those like a nagging foot problem sounds like a disaster waiting to happen to me.
And you're sort of right, Matt. Yeah. And part of the reason why I did this is because I love the fit of Thibodeau to our next team so much. I think Thibodeau to the Giants in Wink Martindale's defense. I wanted to mock it so bad because I think it would be. He's such a good player in the Don Martindale system that I was like. I just want to mock him here so bad. I think he would be good on the Giants.
My 5th pick, I have the Giants trading out to pick 7. Or not to pick 10.
Okay.
To pick 10, my bad. Okay. To pick 10, which is the Jets pick.
Can they trade to the... Can they be like, we have traded our pick? I have them
trading... we have traded our pick
to ourselves,
and the way they're doing this is they're going to trade Leonard Williams to get out of that contract, because the easy thing to do would just be to restructure it. But if they trade out of that contract entirely, they don't have to worry about it for the next 4 years or 3 years, I think it is. So you trade out of that contract, you trade out of the pick, and the Jets, with the 5th pick, take Drake London.
So Leonard Williams goes back to the Jets.
And do they give up their 10th pick? Or is it just straight up the number 5 overall pick for Leonard Williams, who they didn't want
I haven't figured out all the details. But to me, that just makes the most sense. I'm looking at the Jets, I'm looking at the Giants, and I'm like, okay, you want to trade this contract away. Okay, you look through the teams with the most cap space that could absolve that deal, and the one that you wouldn't have to like give up an obscene amount, like a huge drop off in picks. The only one that fits that was the Jets. Like, you could do the Dolphins, but then you're trading back to 29.
I think you couldn't do anything just for straight up the 5th overall pick for Leonard Williams. If they gave up the 10th, I guess
they're giving up the. Wait. Yeah, the Jets are giving up the 10th.
Okay. Then I misunderstood.
Yeah, the Jets give up the 10th.
So you have the Jets. It's 10 trading up.
It's 10
to take on Leonard Williams' contract.
10 for 5 and Leonard Williams. Yes.
Okay.
So you have the Jets trade. Who do you have them taking?
At 5, Drake London.
Drake London.
I love that excitement in your voice there, Spano.
So this is Blaiden saying Drake London will be a top 5 pick.
What's wrong with that? Drake London's a freak.
He won't be a top 5 pick. I don't think.
Drake London is pretty good, clip. But yeah,
when Drake London goes number 1 overall, I'm going to look like an asshole.
You're going to look like an idiot, dude.
I'm going to look like such a dummy.
Okay, so Blaiden has the Jets taking...
I think people are going to love Drake London.
Okay, so the Jets are trading up. They're getting Leonard Williams and Drake London. Yes. Matt, who do you have the Giants taking at 5?
Ukanwo. He's a big...
Okay, yeah.
He's a big tackle. He's got such high upside, and the run blocking's so fun, and he needs some work in pass pro. But I know they need offensive line. I think it makes sense. They could also go cross here, but I feel like from what I've seen, Cross is a little bit lower on people's boards than Okonwo, so I have him taking Okonwo.
Ekwonu, I don't usually absolutely love watching offensive tackle tape. It's not the sexiest position ever to watch, but his tape was amazing to watch. I mean, he was flattening guys left and right in run blocking, like just running them over. And he's not bad in pass pro at all. There are times where he'll lean, like almost look down directly at the ground and like shoot his arms up, where he's like, that's just not an athletic position to be in. And he'll overset. He'll like go way out on an island by himself and get beat inside sometimes. But like those are fixable things. And he got a lot better from 2020 to 2021. And if you really can't figure it out, I don't see why you couldn't just move him to guard where he's played in college before. And he could just, not have to set so much and just steamroll guys. I have him taking Ekwonu at pick number 7. So, we're in a similar train of thought there. I have him taking Thibodeau. Obviously, they just hired Don Martindale, the defensive coordinator from the Ravens, and you think of who they just drafted away. Jason, I guess, no, he's going by his more traditional last name now. So I apologize. I can't think of what that is off the top of my head. But at the time, his first name, Odafe or something. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
He was just a hyper athletic, not really technically sound prospect that the Ravens thought fit their system last year. And I think like Thibodeau is kind of the same deal, not super polished, but he's athletic, and they have Azeez Ojulari and they have Lorenzo Carter. So he wouldn't be like an every single down player, I don't think, but he's someone who can drop back into coverage a little bit. And when you're sending zero blitzes, a lot of times there's some simulated pressure and you need your lineman to kind of drop back and to like cover some like shallow hook zone. So I love the fit of him in that really aggressive attacking Martindale defense. Get him some scenarios where, he's the free rusher and he can use that explosive first step to just cover ground as fast as possible while he kind of learns the ropes with the technique. I love the fit of Thibodeau to the Giants.
Well, Matt, your Panthers are here at 6.
They're taking Kenny Pickett. I think this is maybe the easiest pick to project. They're taking Kenny Pickett.
You heard it here.
I originally had them taking Matt Corral. And then I remembered that Matt has been saying they're going to take Kenny Pickett for a billion years. Pickett. So
it is.
They're taking Kenny Pickett.
Yep. It's just he has connections to Matt Rule, and Matt Rule knows that he can't roll with Darnold again. And Pickett's okay. He does a lot of things all right. Like there's worse things than being a discount Burrow, and he can hit throws on the outside of the numbers, and he can move a decent amount. Like it's not all bad with him. But is he worth the 6th overall pick? No. Is this a move that somebody who needs to hit on a quarterback or I'm done would make? Yeah. This isn't the best move for the Panthers. It's the best move that Matt Rule wants. And it stinks, but I think that's what happens.
Yeah. I don't know if I was talking about this live on the podcast or maybe after it was over, but we were talking about when Daniel Jones went and he went 6th overall. I feel like that would have like a similar flavor to me.
And he's kind of,
and
it's
again,
and it's the same thing. It's like not all bad with Daniel Jones, but
yeah, I mean, he can move. He's got an okay enough arm. He's got, accuracy. Kenny Pickett really did have a really good 2021 year. But his poise, when things start to break down, he's more of a let's get out of here than let's step up. He's just not like a top 10 quarterback. Like he's just not. All right. He's just not.
Yeah.
But he's probably better. I'd rather have him than Sam Darnold. So
yes,
that's not.
It wouldn't at least be something to watch next year.
Yeah.
For the Panthers.
And I've been very wrong on Joe Burrow type of small armed or small hands, feisty RC Cola Burrow type. I don't know.
Okay, but aren't Pickett's hands like exceptionally small, even for like small hand quarterback?
He did fumble a lot in college. He did fumble a lot in college, but I mean, he can like spin it. It's not like he doesn't throw a good spiral or anything. But yeah.
All right, pick number 7.
Number 7, yeah.
Giants again. Well, for me, it's the first time the Giants are picking. For you guys, the second. I have them taking Kayvon Thibodeau here. So they still get Thibodeau either way.
Makes sense.
Fair.
I don't know.
You said you have him taking, I can't think of the name all of a sudden. Yeah.
Right? No.
Wait. Your trade makes no sense to me. The Jets got
they
moved up in the draft and they got Leonard Williams. I didn't even think about that. So
it's because so they're getting off of Leonard Williams' contract and moving up. If
they were to just trade Williams and keep the contract, they lose $8 million.
That's not that much money.
They're moving. They're
already negative 12. They're negative 12. This would take them out of debt entirely.
From 5 to 10 for $8 million in dead cap.
There is no way.
No, you don't get it, man. You don't. It absolves the problem of having to deal with Leonard Williams' contract until 2024.
Leonard Williams isn't even that bad. I would argue the Giants got worse at the top of that draft.
The Kenny Galladay contract is worse.
Instead of cutting Leonard Williams post June 1st and having no dead cap, they moved down 5 spots in the draft.
And they still get their guys.
But they could just release him and get their guy at 5.
And not take that risk.
I feel like giving. I feel like this trade is not. What risk is there? This trade is not sound.
You still. Again, I made this trade at 1 a.m, but I woke up and it still made sense to me.
I was delirious, so you gotta understand.
Okay.
It still made sense when I woke up, and I still think it makes somewhat sense.
It does not
because you still,
as a friend,
you still get.
It does not. You still.
You still get Kayvon Thibodeau, and you can still get an offensive lineman at 10.
I guess. Anyway, okay, but you're taking Thibodeau. I like the logic, at least with the pick, which I already explained. I'm taking a Kwanu, who Matt already took. Matt.
I actually have a trade. And I don't have the exact details, so just put in whatever you'd like. But I have the Giants trading down with the Steelers, and then the Steelers trading up for Malik Willis. For draft picks in this year's and next year's draft.
Yeah, I could see the Steelers doing that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the price to trade up in this draft.
Number 20.
I think Malik Willis's draft stock is high enough so where if you're the Steelers and that's your guy, you're not just going to sit there and be like, hope he falls to us. And if he doesn't, oh, well, then I don't know what we're going to do at quarterback. Especially if the Steelers don't find a solution at quarterback. Until the draft, I think it's really likely they trade up. Maybe, but I think the price to trade up in this year's draft is not going to be that high because everyone wants to trade down. So it's like, yeah, we'll trade. It's not going to take 3 firsts like did for the 49ers. That's for sure.
Yeah. Willis is the perfect pre-draft type of prospect too, because kind of like Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, the things he kind of struggled with was maybe reading the middle of the field and stuff like that. So, which you don't really have to do that much in the pre-draft prospect. What you do get to do is have a pro day where you roll to your left and then throw it right for 60 yards. And as long as that looks clean, you've had a great pre-draft process. And Malik Willis is probably the best in the class at doing that particular thing. So he's going to have the best pre-draft process. So I think, his stock is already rising, and after the pro days and the combine, it's going to rise even more. So I don't like that. I don't dislike that at all. I have a Kwanu. We'll pick up the pace here a little bit. 8 is Atlanta.
We can finally ignore my trade for the rest of the draft.
Yeah, I'll try my best to forget about that. 8 is Atlanta. I have Garrett Wilson going there.
I like that pick. I considered that. I have Ahmad Gardner going there. Okay. They need another corner.
That'd be kind of baller to have Terrell and Gardner.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It would be a lot of fun. Then again, I am biased. Gardner going above Stingley I'm less confident that's actually going to happen as the days go on, but it would be very baller.
It would be very baller.
I thought about Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was my initial thought of who they would take. But then I'm like, who sounds like just an Atlanta Falcons wide receiver? Jameson Williams. So they're taking Jameson Williams.
That works too. I mean, he's got the ACL tear, but I don't know with how fast those seem to heal nowadays. I doubt that he will be. He might be like running routes by the time the draft comes around. With that,
no, like I don't think that'll affect his stock. Maybe a tiny bit, but probably not.
I mean, speed.
I don't think he just seems like an Atlanta receiver.
Yeah.
Speed's a value. I mean, we saw John Ross go crazy high. We saw Waddle go number 1 of all the wide receivers. No, number 2 after Chase of all the wide receivers last year, above his teammate Devontae Smith, even though Smith won the Heisman. So I could definitely see a team falling in love with Jameson Williams' speed. So yeah, makes sense to me. Garrett Wilson to me is the best wide receiver in this class. I think that, with Ridley probably on the way out in Atlanta, you need who? You need someone better than Zachary Olakis
Russell
or whatever
Gage,
his name is. You need someone different
Russell
than that.
Gage.
So let's get a real wide receiver out here. And then Pitts and Garrett Wilson.
And if somehow you keep Ridley and you drafted Garrett Wilson, there's worse things to happen to teams.
Ridley, Wilson, and Pitts is scary, dude. You try to say Matt Ryan played Joe Burrow offensive line. I'm sorry. We're going skill position. We're going skill position mode, and we're going to try to be Cincinnati, I guess. That kind of team build. So yeah, Garrett Wilson at 8 for me. Gardner and
all right,
and Jameson Williams. 9.
Denver.
Yeah.
To me is another very Denver pick. They're taking Carson Strong.
That is an Elway pick, but
tell me I'm wrong. No. Very Denver
he would have
pick.
to have, I don't know what he'd have to do. He'd have to, I mean, he's got a medical issue in his knee.
For me, I've been dicing between him and Howell for who they take. But I think they're going with one of those guys. I don't know. I see them taking a quarterback here, even though they probably don't need it right now.
Well, they do need it right now.
They do need it, but like, I don't know if
they're not getting Rodgers.
Yeah,
sorry, Denver fans. It's not happening. You hired Hackett in hopes that he's leaving.
I was like, maybe they do the trade, but I don't know.
All right.
So, yeah,
I mean, he is. They'll definitely need to upgrade at quarterback. I don't even dislike Strong. I think Strong is actually okay. He's got a decent arm. I think he does read the field relatively well. The only thing that really concerns me is he's slow. He's really slow. And it's not like his pocket movement's horrible, but he's just slow. I have a second round grade on him. Denver loves that, man. But I don't know. I guess he's definitely a Denver type of quarterback. I have him taking Tyler Linderbaum, the center. I think when you miss out on Rodgers, I think you may look at your running back room with why can't Melvin Gordon and why can't I think of Javonte Williams is
Javonte.
You go. Okay, we're gonna go run heavy. Okay, like LaFleur, like his offenses in Green Bay were not exactly aerial attacks here. All right, there was a lot of running going on. And, the center position was one they prioritized with Corey Linsley. Like they had a really good center. And then when Corey Linsley left, they drafted Josh Myers really high. So an athletic, good at run blocking, really good at moving in the second level, Jason Kelce type of center here, and Tyler Linderbaum. I think if they miss out on Rodgers, they may be like, okay, we've got our beast running back. Let's try to just, be a ground and pound type of team here. So that's why I have him taking the Tyler Linderbaum.
I haven't taken Linderbaum as well.
Good. Cool. That's kind of an out of the box pick. I was happy with that one. I was like, that one's kind of.
Well, my thought process was, okay, like last year, first off, they need offensive line.
They do.
But, and I almost thought about Charles Cross here, but both their tackles are decent enough to probably get away with that. But last year they took Patrick Surtain when they really didn't need because like a cornerback, but it was kind of the best player available. And it was a good, solid, like nice double pick. It was like, that's clearly going to work out. So this year I have him doing kind of a similar thing. All right, we're sitting here at 9, need offensive line. Maybe this isn't the coolest pick in the world. This isn't our biggest need per se, but Linderbaum will be good.
Yeah, no, I like the pick a lot. And I feel like Broncos fans would definitely need to like warm up to it a little bit, but yeah, I don't think it's the worst. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
I also really considered Cross here.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, with these
At
top
10.
offensive linemen, I feel like you really can't go wrong. At 10, I actually have the Giants taking Linderbaum.
That works too. That works too. They definitely need some interior alignment. I have the Jets taking Traylon Burks since they're kind of a San Francisco type of coaching staff, and they need a wide receiver. I love
Traylon Burks, man.
Yeah, no, Traylon Burks is good. They have LaFleur and Saleh who came from San Francisco.
So let me let me get this straight. We ended up with the same idea of what each of these teams would end up taking anyway, between the Jets and Giants.
Yes, it's that you just gave up a good player for the Giants. I
just took the scenic route to it, but
scenic route through
it ended up with the same result.
Anyway, that's the top 10. That rounds out the top 10.
Matt, who'd you have for the Giants?
Stingley.
Or the Jets at 10?
Jets. Stingley. I hadn't been taken
we
yet.
We literally got the same. You got the same result.
All's well done.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna drive me. It's gonna drive me crazy. But
yeah, I had Stingley there. I just have him going a little bit lower because the injury concerns, but we'll see how much that actually ends up mattering.
Well, it seems that after the way that I just ran through that craziness to get the same result as you guys, I might need some help. But some other people need some help, and they can hit up our new sponsor, BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional therapy done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas, and the services available for clients are worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room like you may have in the past. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free of charge, or free to change therapists if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. So go ahead and visit their website, read their testimonials that are posted daily like this one. I feel less stressed, anxious, and depressed. It's a really great option for anyone looking for affordable help. Visit betterhelp.com/stayhot. That's BetterHelp, and join over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states. Special offer for Stay Hot listeners: get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/stayhot. Better for life today. And, our picks so far, I think, have been, pretty fresh. Maybe number one in the world, or number one in America, just like our newest sponsor, HelloFresh, America's number one meal kit. As you know, with HelloFresh, you get pre-measured ingredients, mouthwater seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. HelloFresh lets you skip those grocery store trips, all the lines, makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why I said, it's America's number one meal kit. HelloFresh cuts out the stressful meal planning and grocery store trips. So you can just get to cooking and eating in less than 30 minutes. Also, HelloFresh is 30% cheaper than shopping at your local grocery store. And plus, you get to skip the checkout lines. You can try their quick and easy meals like 15 to 20-minute dinners, breakfast on the go, and 10-minute lunches in the HelloFresh market. Perfect for you if you have a crazy class schedule, an internship, or a new job. You can enjoy restaurant-quality meals for less in the comfort of your own home. HelloFresh's gourmet recipes like balsamic fig sirloin are over 72% cheaper than the average restaurant meal. I haven't had HelloFresh in a while. I need it. I can't lie. So you guys can go over to HelloFresh.com/StayHot16. Use the code StayHot16. That is the number 16, and get up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/StayHot16. Use the code StayHot16 to get HelloFresh, America's number one meal kit. Now, pick number 11.
We're about halfway through this podcast. We got 22 picks to go.
Let's roll.
We'll clip it up.
Let's roll. So number 11. Number 11, Washington. I have them taking Sam Howell.
I have them taking Malik Willis.
I have them taking Matt Corral.
Okay. The logic here is they don't have a quarterback and they need one.
Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty much it. I feel like Sam Howell's the guy they want, but I could be wrong. I like Corral a lot, so that's who I would take.
I don't like Malik Willis or
right.
Corral all that much, but their teams need quarterbacks.
They're quarterbacks.
Yeah,
they play QB.
Ritter is my quarterback
the best pick
one, which I feel dicey.
That's
about
what
always,
if you want to know what they should do, it's take Desmond Ritter at 11.
But I don't think teams will be as high on him as some of the media is right now. But yeah, Malik Willis, I think he's my second quarterback off the board because I think the Panthers will pick it. But anyway, yeah. Commanders, quarterback.
The Vikings at 12.
This is where I got Sauce Gardner. This is Ahmad Gardner.
Ooh, interesting. I heard Vikings fans complain a lot about their offensive line.
Yeah,
it's really bad. I had them taking Aquanu here.
That'd be a home run pick if they could get him at 12. Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's the thing is I don't know if he actually does fall to them here. But if he
think it's pretty tough for him to fall there.
Both their tackles are also.
Either way,
they invested in Darisaw last year, and they have Brian O'Neill, who's pretty good. I truly believe that he could play guard and be a good guard. So if they did have the opportunity,
that's the thing is I thought about putting Cross because I hadn't had Cross off the board either. But I was like, I felt like Aquanu might.
Well, yeah. I have Cross off the board here at 12, and they need offensive line. And I think the logic definitely is like, well, you already kind of have two tackles, but I would much rather have the problem of too many good tackles. And it's like, you're sitting here and it's like, I don't want to reach on one of these guys who's interior. So I'll take that. And if I have to trade one of those guys or kick one of those guys inside, I'll gladly do that. Cause I think Cross here at 12 is value.
They would love Linderbaum.
Yeah.
I mean,
either of them at 12 is.
And that's the thing. It's like if in a perfect world, Linderbaum's the pick here, but in my mock draft, Linderbaum is not here.
He's not there.
Yeah,
Linderbaum's also a lot like Garrett Bradbury. Yeah, so you need a little bit of selling for the Vikings fan base to take like another undersized light center who moves really well. But yeah, Ahmad Gardner is my pick. I mean, Dantzler's okay, but he was like on and off the bench last year. Patrick Peterson's old. They need a corner. They had one of the worst defenses in football last year. The secondary was a big reason of that. Next, we have your Cleveland Browns, Blaiden. And this is where I take
Cleveland Browns.
Top 5 caliber player in the class, Drake London, to be their wide receiver one. This is where I have him going. So you'll be happy.
That's a good pick. I have Garrett Wilson.
That would also be sick.
I have Garrett Wilson.
Any of those guys. Yeah. If the Browns can get Wilson or London, I'm happy. Those are the two guys I want.
Yeah, well, you need to upgrade. The wide receiver one right now is Jarvis Landry, and he might be on the way out the door.
The wide receiver one right now is Donovan Peoples-Jones. Let's make that clear first and foremost.
That might be even worse.
Rashard Higgins, bro. Peoples-Jones is better than Landry right now. Higgins is like he might be wide receiver 3 or 4.
This is so sad.
I don't know. It is sad. I
love Higgins.
They might like Anthony Schwartz more than Higgins. I can't.
I think Garrett Wilson's just a really good home run pick here at 13. Who they need a playmaking receiver.
Yeah,
and
they had one.
Hopefully they won't cut this one if Baker's Mayfield's stats aren't good enough. But Wilson at 13 is great value. Big need. It's easy money.
Yeah. Drake London, Blaiden, I know
Number
you had
14.
You had him a little bit high, but I just wanted to talk a little he's good. I mean, the like bigger body wide receivers have had a kind of a high bust rate recently, but he moves like well. He's good after the catch. Yes. He's a good route runner. He is more of a finesse big dude.
Yeah, no, I like Drake London a lot. When I was watching his 2020 tape, I was like, man, this guy can't really move all that well. He just kind of runs through people when he can't figure out how to get around them. And then in 2021, he figured that out. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's a freak. So that taking any time you can get a player like him at 13, that's a good pick. But pick number 14, the Baltimore Ravens.
This is where I have Charles Cross going, and that would be a home run pick for them. I mean, the reason... Yeah. Anytime you have Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins, the potential for just an elite running game is there. And they had the best running game of all time a couple years ago when they had a stacked offensive line, right? Like with a good offensive line with Yonda and Orlando Brown and Ronnie Stanley. Had the best rushing season ever for a franchise, and they've been good at rushing since then, but the offensive line just hasn't been able to block up what they were able to in 2019, and they haven't had the kind of seasons that they had a couple years ago. So I think they should be trying to get back to that place. And if Charles Cross falls to them, you move either him or Stanley to right tackle, and you hope it works out because that could be really, really dangerous.
Peters is 30 and he's a free agent, I believe. He's coming off, big injury, so I have him going cornerback here and taking Trent McDuffie.
That's fair.
I have them taking Ahmad Gardner.
Gardner's a very Baltimore type of safe corner, right? I mean, the thing is,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Here's my logic with the Ravens.
Martindale is gone, so I don't know how much. I guess I don't know that much about their new defensive coordinator and how much he'll blitz, but I mean, man cover press corners is such a Ravens corner. So yeah,
the Ravens will always do the thing that scares me the most, right? With 2018, it was draft Lamar Jackson, and now it's they're going to take Sauce Gardner. So there's literally no other way that could possibly go. Number 15, the Eagles now have
2 Eagles picks in a row here.
2 Eagles picks in a row, and I don't even have to make a trade to make it happen. Amazing. I have them going triple defense, and I'm taking Trent McGuffel here.
Who do you have at 16? Just right away, pairing those 2 picks.
I cannot, for the life of me, pronounce it, but the edge defender out of Purdue, George
Karlaftis. Yeah, I have him going at 16 too to the Eagles.
I have Karlaftis at 15, and I have Devin Lloyd at 16.
I have Nakobe Dean at 15 and George Karlaftis at 16.
I like Dean
I have
more
Nakobe Dean
Lloyd
at 19.
I think Nakobe Dean's one of the best defensive players in this class, point blank period. I think that if you could get him at 15, the Eagles linebackers suck. Nakobe Dean would be a massive upgrade. You
could go Lloyd and Dean at 15, 16 if they were there.
I thought about it. I toyed with the idea.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
That would be cool. That would be baller. Those would sell a lot of jerseys and they'd get like a nickname or something. That would be a really cool linebacking core. Karlaftis is someone who is not all that far, is the tier break between Hutchinson and Karlaftis, I don't think is as great as people think. Karlaftis is really great with his hands. He's got short arms, but he makes it work with the technique. He can run the arc. He can run through people. He's got really advanced moves for a pass rusher already. I really like George Karlaftis. I think he's a good mover.
If it wasn't for the arms, dude, I really wonder how high he would be going. I think he'd be easily in the debate to be. Yeah, I mean, he's ridiculous. And just to be able to beat people in so many different ways. You can get really good at one thing, but if you can beat people in that many different ways, you can overcome things like having short arms because you can throw tackles off and you can find what works well against each individual tackle. So I like him a lot.
Versatility is hard to find and it's hard to beat. So
17.
number 17, the Chargers. I think we should all have the same idea here, which is replace Jerry Tillery. I have them taking Devontae Wyatt.
I have him going corner. Andrew Booth.
I have him going corner too.
Really?
I have Kyer Elam here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm the odd
and
one.
I thought long and hard about Jordan Davis, and I love Jordan Davis. I actually don't have him in the first round of this mock. There are 2 places where I really, really thought about putting him. He's really good at what he does. He's not going to be on the field for all that much, and I feel like an NFL
at 17,
team
it's just hard.
For 17, it's just hard.
You have all this money in free agency. If there was any position that you would want to go get out in free agency, it would be defensive tackle because it'd be so cheap to get good at that position compared to corner.
I guess you're
right. And for the Chargers, space eating defensive tackles aren't that expensive. If you want a litmus test of how much someone knows the defensive side of the ball, ask them about Sebastian Joseph Day. The better they think Sebastian Joseph Day is, the more defense they watch. All right. Sebastian Joseph Day was a huge key of why the Rams defense was the way it is, because he was so good at just controlling his gap. Not super flashy, not someone who's going to have a 10-sack season on the interior, but you need your Sebastian Joseph Day.
Sue was the same way. Sue was the same way when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He would just absorb
need,
blockers. That was when Aaron Donald had like his like absurdly insane season.
Yeah. So
a big credit to that with Sue.
Finding the Sebastian Joseph Days of the world isn't as difficult as finding long corners with great technique, with good pad level, size, and long speed, like Khair Elam, who's going to be on the field for every single snap for you. So they need corner to, Michael Davis and Chris Harris isn't cutting it anymore. I do love Devontae Wyatt, though. I don't think that'd be a bad pick at all. I have Devontae Wyatt going a couple picks later here, but yeah, I have Khair Elam. Matt, who did you have? What corner did you have?
Andrew Booth.
Okay.
I like Andrew Booth. I have him going a little bit later, but pick number 18,
at 18,
the Saints.
Yeah.
So obviously the Saints are trading out of this pick. No,
I have him going receiver. I haven't had Treylon Burks go yet, so that's who I went with. I think it'd be a cool pick.
I've got Jamison Williams here. I think with Michael Thomas coming back, you kind of want, this is a quote from Kyle Shanahan, you want your wide receiver room to kind of look like a basketball team with like a center, like a bunch of different positions or a bunch of different skill sets. And I think like you pair Michael Thomas with Jamison Williams, that's, a perfect 1-2 punch. That's the possession guy and the guy that takes the top off the defense.
That's how I felt about Treylon Burks. And I feel like the Saints are
Treylon
a type
Burks,
of team.
yeah, he's a deep threat too.
They're usually kind of a little bit, I don't know how they're going to be with new head coach and whole new changes, but they're usually a kind of a forward-thinking team. So maybe Treylon Burks is for a forward-thinking team, and he's definitely a lot different than what Michael Thomas brings. So it would give him a really interesting 1-2 punch as well.
For sure.
My concern with the Saints is that they are losing.
Is everything?
Is everything, but
they're going to lose all their games.
Well, my big thing is that they're probably going to lose Terron Armstead. I don't know if you can bring him back.
I don't think so.
But I have not taken Charles Cross.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I give them Charles Cross here at 18, which is about as good value as you could possibly get.
That would be.
I think
we've already talked
in your
about how
draft,
good he is. Yeah, that's how it works out in my mock draft.
If the Chargers passed on Charles Cross for a 2-down defensive tackle,
then
Wyatt is not a 2-down. Wyatt is.
I thought you had him taking Jordan Davis. I know. I thought you had him taking Jordan Davis.
No, I had Devon. No, that's why I didn't take Davis. I was like, that dude's not gonna be. No.
Next is the Eagles at 19. I talk about how it's good to have different. I might change this pick in future mocks because I'm talking now about how I want different body types in your wide receiver room, and this wide receiver is a lot like Devontae Smith. It's Chris Olave, but they need someone reliable who, you have given Jalen Reagor far too many snaps that he deserves.
You just need everyone to be on the same page. Like I have him taking Drake London, which I think is a very good
that's
counter to counter to Smith. You want to give Hurts a better shot, give him some real, and if it doesn't work out, you go get a new guy. Have London, they need another receiver. Reagor, I don't need to over explain it. London's good.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier I had them going triple defense. They're taking Nakobe Dean here. I think that, high level defensive player. If you get 3 high level defensive players, that's something I think that would really help them out in taking a lot of the weight off of that offense.
Not wrong.
Yes. No, I agree. You said you have him going Dean here.
Yeah.
I love Dean. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Come on. All right. Pick number 20. Matt, you had the Steelers trading up, or Theo?
So I have the Giants here, and I have them taking Kenyon Green. Need offensive line.
Okay.
He seems really good.
Yeah.
Take an offensive lineman. Someone else. It means that they traded down, got some extra capital, drafted a franchise tackle, drafted a great guy on the interior who's really good on pass protection. Was kind of versatile too. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I have Kenyon Green going as well, but I have him going to Pittsburgh. I guess I have Pittsburgh passing on a quarterback, and maybe that's something they figure out in free agency. I feel like if they were to miss on Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett, I don't know if they would take someone like Corral or Ritter. Again, I don't know what their answer would be at quarterback here. I guess I assume they figure that out with Marcus Mariota, or they make a trade, or Jameis, maybe he can't re-sign with the Saints. Yeah. But I've going with Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green is really versatile. I got a DM of a Twitter friend of mine comparing him to Elton Jenkins. And I thought that was a pretty good comp, because that's someone, similar body types and similar roles in the offense, where they can move around and be a chess piece on that offensive line. And Steelers need that. Their offensive line is ass. So
it's bad.
Yeah.
That's always gonna bump your draft stock, because if you're trying to fill out an offensive line, you have free agency first. So you go and you get your different guys who you can go get in free agency. And then you have like maybe one position on the offensive line left. And it's a lot easier to draft a guy who could be one of 3 different positions. And it's whichever one you didn't get in free agency, versus he needs to be this one certain position. And we have to like not get that and then hope he falls to us. It just makes it easier to work onto a team.
Absolutely.
Matt, you had the Steelers trading up for Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis just falls to them here, and they take him at 20.
There's some possibility.
Mike Tomlin has talked about he wants a mobile quarterback. I would not be surprised if they brought in Malik Willis, even though I don't totally love Malik Willis, but it is what it is. And you know what? The NFL season may be over. And that's why we're doing this mock draft, because we can't actually talk about what's going on in the NFL season. But there is no off season for Underdog Fantasy. And right now, you can draft a 2022 Best Ball fantasy football team using their big board tournament with $250,000 in cash prizes and $50,000 to first place. Which incoming rookies will you draft to make a splash in your 2022 fantasy team? Maybe someone from the mock draft we're doing right now. Draft your dream fantasy roster in the big board now, and that's it. No waivers, no trades, no setting up your lineup. Underdog will give you the optimal score each week. And get this, right now, when you sign up with the code STAYHOT, Underdog is going to match your initial deposit with up to $100 in bonus cash. So what are you waiting for? Go check out UnderdogFantasy.com or their mobile app and sign up with the code STAYHOT, and may the best drafter win. On to pick number 21, the New England Patriots. This is where I have Chris Olave going. Feels like, you talk about teams needing a reliable receiver. That's the Patriots. They desperately need that.
Yeah, no, they have not had a guy you'd consider to be like a really strong wide receiver one in a really long time. And I guess that kind of shows that they don't maybe value that position like other teams do.
But also, when you had Tom Brady, Mac Jones isn't Tom Brady.
And they did draft N'Keal Harry to be that guy. So, and they spent a lot of money on Kendrick Bourne. So that's not even true. So, yeah, no, Jacoby Myers is a free agent for them. I think that makes a lot of sense.
And I love Olave. He's about as reliable as they come, in my opinion. Matt, who do you?
I had him going to Kobe Dean, which is maybe not their biggest need, but I think Bill Belichick with N'Kobe Dean would be really fun. So that's what I did.
Yeah,
that's fair. I had them going with Zion Johnson, the guard. I think I'm looking at the free really agents. Good. There's Ted Karras. Zion Johnson was very good in the Senior Bowl. I think that was him. He's an underrated prospect. I think right now I think he's pretty much a lock to go in the first round at some point. PFF is telling me that the offensive line of the Patriots was like really, really good, which I guess I didn't notice as much. I didn't think that it was that good.
It's not as good as it was in 2020.
They're probably losing Trent Brown. He's a free agent. Ted Karras is a free agent. They're very, very run heavy. They've grown into a team that has one of the most like expansive run like designs and the different concepts they play over and over again. Like it's very varied and very versatile. And I think offensive linemen are going to be a big priority for them. So I guess I'm projecting them losing some guys and just having an extra, it's an offensive lineman. It's the same.
It's
maybe
22
other
Oakland,
needs,
or not Oakland, Vegas. I didn't mean to get you up, Theo, did you?
Anyway, that is mine.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Not a sexy pick, but this is where I've got Devontae Wyatt going. They've got Max Crosby on the outside. They've got I should know this. I slandered him before. On the other side, Speed Rusher. someone else go. I think.
Yannick and
yes, Yannick Ngakoue. They've got those two, but man, the interior defensive line for the Raiders was a tough watch this year. So Devontae Wyatt, there you go. He killed the Senior Bowl as well. He was amazing.
Yeah, I thought about going defense for them, but when I look at that offense, I'm like, you know what Derek Carr needs? He needs a game breaker. He hasn't had one of those since Amari Cooper, really. And I like Darren Waller, but I feel like, similar to like the Falcons, you don't want to just have him. So I have them taking Treylon Burks. And I think that makes your offense very, very scary.
I haven't taken Jamison Williams. Need another receiver.
A speedy Alabama deep threat.
You're replacing Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, I mean, they need that. That was a crucial part to their offense. Like that they tried to replace it with Deshaun Jackson, and that went okay. But yeah, no, Jamison Williams. I honestly think Jamison Williams had maybe a better ceiling than Ruggs did. I did not like Ruggs.
I like Williams a lot more than I liked. I did not like Ruggs a lot. But moving on to pick 23, the Cardinals. This is where I actually have Andrew Booth going. I think the Cardinals defense
going as well.
The Cardinals defense could be. I just get excited. I get excited thinking about it, man.
Yeah, I have Elam going here, but
okay,
same thought process. I'm thinking they need a cornerback. We haven't taken a cornerback.
Yeah, they got Budda Baker already there, who's an elite safety. They can be nice.
Thought. Oh no! Once again, I'm blanking on the name. Some analyst I thought they had a corner that had a decent season. Byron Murphy, that's his name.
Yes.
I thought Byron Murphy was okay this year, but you don't really love that guy on, the best in the league. And Andrew Booth, if you could get him at 23, I think Booth will go higher than this at the end of the day. But yeah, no, Booth good. They need a true cornerback one, I think.
Yeah, no, that
for Dallas,
could be
that's a 24. I think, pretty straightforward Arizona pick. For Dallas, I really thought about getting Jordan Davis here too. This was the other place where I thought long and hard about Jordan Davis going, but I ended up going with a different Georgia defensive lineman, Trayvon Walker. I like Davis isn't really a scheme fit as much for Dallas because I feel like they need space eaters less because they play single high safety and bring someone else into the box. That's like Dan Quinn. Like he was really like one of the architects of bringing that into like not the mainstream, but the Legion of Boom was like why everybody wanted to do that for so long. So I feel like they need like space eaters less because they have that extra guy in the box so much, but they still need an interior defensive lineman presence. So I went with Trayvon Walker out of Georgia.
I also went with Trayvon Walker.
I have Zion Johnson going here.
Fair.
I think like the Cowboys offensive line is just not what it once was. And now you're kind of in a position where with Connor Williams, it's like, he is probably going to get paid more than like he's in the bad range where he's good enough to get a big contract. Maybe
he's a
not
Panthers
quite good enough to be
type
worth
of guy.
it. Yeah. So, and the Cowboys are already in cap trouble and you would still like to even upgrade over him. Even if you like, without thinking about the contract. So I think Johnson here kind of solves a lot of those problems. Like for the reasons we talked about earlier, great at the Senior Bowl, should be a first round pick. They need a guard.
Fair.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I think I know who everyone's going to take here. The edges fell so far down the board for me for some reason. And once I did this mock draft, I'm like, there's no way this is actually happening. But that's just the way that things fell. And David Ojabo is off the board for the Bills for me. Yep. They have, I think, Greg Rousseau. I've talked about him a million times on this podcast because I liked him. But he just doesn't have that juice as an edge rusher, and neither really does Boogie Basham, the rookie edge they took last year. Ojabo has that. You can sub them in packages where you don't really need to be so sound against the run, maybe, and actually get some juice off the edge. They would be absolutely thrilled to get him at 25. I've seen Ojabo get my top 10. So yeah, I don't know why the edges fell that, but I was like,
I almost went receiver here. I almost went Dotson, but I was surprised to see Ojabo here, and I was like, oh wait. Yeah,
Jermaine, I'll say this right now. Jermaine Johnson is a guy who is an absolute stone cold lock to go in the first round. And once I got done with this mock draft, I realized I'm like, oh my God, I had nobody taking him. Because I never saw someone who really, really needed an edge that bad.
Yeah.
I think also Hughes and Addison are just ancient now.
Yeah.
So to get younger on the edges this would be a big win value pick for Buffalo. Got to do it.
Titans 26. This is another pick that I don't like that much in my mock draft. But who did you guys take?
I had Trevor Penning. I thought they needed some more offensive line help.
They do.
Yeah. And you look at that, and I don't know, something about just like they've built their offense to be so physical. So why not keep on that trend and go get this dude who's like flinging people around at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, no, he was committing some penalties. But yes, no, makes sense.
This is great tape, and it's just him like smashing someone on the ground after the play is over. I'm like, I don't know what that does really.
It's fun to watch. I had the Titans taking Kenyon Green. I was kind of surprised to see him at this late. So, again, they need some help with their offensive line. Their defense was kind of surprisingly good this year. I almost went defense, but I was like, no, I don't think they need it.
Yes, I have Lewis Cine going here, which is a safety out of Georgia, and they don't really need a safety because Hooker and Byard were a good pairing this year. Cine is almost kind of like I don't know if he's a luxury pick, but they need help at run defense and linebacker. And I feel like Cine is kind of the next in that group of kind of the safety linebacker hybrids that we see get taken. There's one every 2 or 3 years or so. I think Cine kind of fits more in that mold, and I'm kind of projecting him as being kind of in the box more because he's so good as a safety and run support. And you see like his speed and his closing burst to the ball. You saw it in the national championship game. I thought it was I think I like all the Georgia defenders. I think if you take a Georgia defender, you did a pretty good job. So I'm taking Cine, and I think that he's kind of more of and maybe this isn't first round value, which is why I don't love this pick, like looking back on it now.
He's a really good player.
He's a really good player, and I think that he's someone.
I don't think it's a dumb pick.
I think Vrabel could find a way to incorporate Cine, Byard, and Hooker in some pretty devastating ways on passing down. So that was my take with him. I don't know if it'll happen, but I do love me some Georgia defenders, and Lewis Cine is, I love the way that he plays the run. So
pick number 27, Tampa Bay. Who'd you guys have?
I had Roger McCreary. Although I need to watch more corners because this is probably someone who isn't Roger McCreary. This is again a pick. My mock is falling apart here at the end. Roger McCreary is pretty good though. I do think that Roger McCreary has late first, early second type of value. So it wouldn't shock me to see him go here over maybe some guys like McDuffie, who I, in all honesty, have not watched yet. I'm a McCreary fan, I guess. I think that he's really light on his feet. I think that he does a good job mirroring wide receivers off the line. He shut down Jamar Chase, or did a good job on Jamar Chase in 2019, and has been pretty good ever since. So I think
McCreary here's good value. Don't say your mock's falling apart because this is my pick too.
Oh, okay.
I really like Roger McCreary. I agree. He's super light on his feet. He's done a good job against good receivers. He's played well in the SEC.
Yeah.
And he's cornerback number 5 off the board. This isn't
for me. That's my thing with me is he's like cornerback 4. I guess he is cornerback 5. The thing is like McDuffie, and there's another guy out of Washington that I haven't really watched yet. So I could be wrong. Like not having McDuffie in my first round. People know
it's February. People know it's February. I did think about Jordan Davis here because
as you should.
It would, and honestly, that would be the most fun thing they could do is take Jordan Davis and have
Vea and Jordan Davis would be the most hilarious thing in the whole entire
really,
world.
If we want to start we're predicting what we think they will do. They did take Kyle Trask last year when they had Tom Brady. So, and Kyle Trask was bad.
We need Ritter on the Buccaneers. For our data agenda.
All I'm saying is taking Jordan Davis
That's a good
sounds like it. Taking Jordan Davis just feels like the pick they would do. But I had them taking Kyrie Elam here. I remember I was watching Alabama versus Florida, and one thing I noticed was how good Jamison Davis was off the line. Like people just couldn't get their hands on him. But if they did,
Williams,
they would always like end up like leaning, reaching, and they'd be burnt. Kyrie Elam did that, leaned in, and then recovered. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's nice.
I think I know the player you're talking about. Yeah, no, Kyrie Elam is good. I'm a big Kyrie Elam.
No, I wouldn't. It would be a good spot for Ritter to land, but not if you're a Carolina Panthers fan. And
right. I didn't think about that. Yes, that would not be great.
Speaking
and I guess we're all projecting them to just
teams.
figure out they don't go into the draft with Kyle Trask as their quarterback, because that is the worst quarterback situation in the league right now, in my opinion. So I guess I see them making a move but maybe I should have thought.
Hold on now. It's the second worst quarterback situation in the entire league.
I don't know. I think I might be paying someone than Trask.
I'd rather have Trask on a rookie contract than Darnold for $18 million guaranteed.
That could be true. It gives you a little bit more. I don't know. But anyway, I guess I probably should have thought a little bit more about quarterback here. But cornerback, Roger McCreary, we're all going corner. Their secondary is kind of a weakness in that defense. So, yeah. The Packers, I guess I got to take Devin Lloyd for the Packers, who's fallen this far. Oh, I guess.
Devin Lloyd hater. Why?
I'm taking him to my favorite team.
Wow.
At 28?
At 28, yeah.
28.
I like Lloyd a lot. That'd be a really good pick for him.
It would be a really good pick for him. Again, I guess maybe the Titans could have taken him instead of Scene. But, I think that, I don't know. I think Lloyd is around the 28th, 29th best player in this draft. I do think the positional value of linebacker has gotten a little bit lower over the past couple of years. So I think that it is possible that the linebackers fall a little bit farther than everybody's expecting. Devin Lloyd, obviously a really good player for Utah, had a really big Rose Bowl. And towards the end of the season, everybody saw him balling out. Or was it the Rose Bowl or the Pac-12 championship game? I can't remember which one it was so standout for him. But yeah, really good player. Put him and Devondre Campbell next to each other. It's scary hours. So yeah, Devin Lloyd to the Packers here.
I have Chris Olave.
That'd be cool.
I think they want another receiver. Olave here at 28 is pretty good value. They've been looking for a true number 2 for a while, and I think Chris Olave would be that. And I kind of think Rodgers comes back.
I think so,
That's
too.
my prediction.
I think he either comes back or retires at this point. I think that he's not changing teams. I think that is... They brought in a quarterbacks coach that he loves, Tom Clements. He freaking loves Tom Clements. So the fact that they brought him back, the fact that they're willing to give him an extension, I think that he's probably staying.
Here's what my Rodgers... I think that if he's annoyed with the Packers front office, he'd probably be annoyed with like 99% of front offices.
Yeah,
I think a lot of front offices would bother him.
Yeah, I agree. Blaiden, who have you got for my Green Bay Packers?
For your Green Bay Packers, I went the same idea as Matt, except Olave's off the board for me, so I went with Jahan Dotson. Who's a guy I like.
The thing about the Packers is they just simply do not draft wide receivers in the first round. They simply do not do it. All right,
I guess that's fair.
So that's my one thing where it's like, I'm sick of mocking wide receivers to them at this point because it just never happens.
They just don't do it.
But I also don't think Dotson's going to go in the first round. That might be a hot take for me. I don't think Dotson's going to go.
I don't think it is a hot take. I know a lot of people aren't that big fan, because he's not flashy in the same way that a lot of these other receivers are.
If Elijah Moore didn't go first round, I don't think Jahan Dotson's going first round. That's kind of my logic.
You're not like the best thing I know about Jahan Dotson. Like the coolest thing that he does is that he's 5'11" and he'll have this like insane like catch radius style. Like
yes,
looks like he's 6'4". I love Jahan. But that's like the coolest thing he does. So I can see why a lot of people might not be so high on him. Pick 29, the Miami Dolphins. I mean,
this is where I think we all.
Yeah, it's the same. They need offensive line. So
the other tackle, what's his last name?
Austin Jackson.
Bernard.
Raymond.
Yeah.
Yes, something like that.
That's who I have here. Penning's off the board, so
I have Penning here.
I have Penning here as well. Yeah, their offensive line sucks.
They need offensive line. They go offensive line. Yes.
They're going run heavy the next year, obviously, I think with, McDaniels running the show. Penning has that.
Yeah.
He has that dog in him. he's got that dog in him. He can run block.
You got that dog.
So yeah, that's about how it is. For the
Number
Chiefs,
30.
I'm changing my pick. I mocked DeMarvin Leal here, but I just cannot go without Jermaine Johnson going in the first round. So he's going to go here.
I have Jermaine Johnson here. That's who I had in my mock draft.
Interesting.
I like the pick.
He was like, this is bad work by me. He was way like on this mock I'm using. He was like weirdly down the list, so I like didn't see him. I'm sure we can all relate. All the folks listening at home. Look, I promise I'll be better in my next mock draft and have him going higher than this because he's better than this. But I had DeMarvin Leal here, which wouldn't be bad either. But I'm going to go with Johnson. I think that this might be the end for Frank Clark in Kansas City. He might be kind of a cap casualty, and you still need edge rushers. So yeah, Jermaine Johnson would be a home run pick for them if he was here at 30.
Yes.
My big
Blaiden?
scary thing with the Kansas City Chiefs is receiver. I'm like, outside of Tyreek Hill, I don't know who else they have, but like I couldn't in good faith not take a corner here. I felt like that was a bigger need, so I'm taking McCreary.
Yeah, don't hate it. Don't hate it.
I don't know. Those were the two things I was like tossing between, and I was just like, I can't not pass up on it. Bengals. The Bengals are an interesting one because you need to desperately get some offensive line help.
Honestly, I feel like they might even be better served trading this pick for an offensive lineman that is established already. Because if you wait and you sit here at 31, A, there's no guarantee dude is good. B, there's no there's no guarantee you get the guy you want. So if you could
Theo,
make a trade
you
for,
mentioned that. That was I was going to trade for Ryan Ramczyk.
Well, okay. I don't know. Okay.
I don't know if
he just got an extension. So you've got a really good tackle locked up for the next couple of years.
Did the Saints just extend him?
I believe they did.
I don't think the Saints are going to go for losing both their franchise tackles.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
but I had the Saints
draft.
I had the Saints drafting one, so that helps out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go into the season. Yeah, no, he's locked up until 2026, and that's a really good tackle locked up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more years. I think the value on him is higher than but the Bengals could always give up more than
my original pick was Zion Johnson. So
yes,
that'd be a great pick. That'd be a great pick.
So that was my pick last night, and then this morning I was like, nah, they should trade for Ramczyk.
I don't know if Ramczyk is for sale for the.
Maybe not. You might have to give up a little bit more than that. But
yeah, no, Zion makes a lot of sense to me. And there are tackles out there that I think make sense in a trade. Laramie Tunsil being one.
Tunsil. I don't know why I didn't think of Tunsil.
Yeah, but anyway, I have Bernard Raymond here, but I think they should trade it for an established guy. Who that guy is not coming to me off the top of my head.
The problem in my mock is that like all the linemen you would take at this point are gone. So it is like kind of the worst case scenario for the Bengals. So realistically, I would have them trading this pick either down or for somebody. But I have them taking Daxton Hill out of Michigan in this mock. They need another corner.
Who?
Daxton Hill.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
He plays for Michigan. He's really good. But I don't love this pick. I don't.
For people who don't know what position he plays, what position is he?
He's a corner.
Okay.
He's replacing Eli Apple.
Yeah.
I don't know if Eli Apple's. I think Eli Apple's a free agent, which is interesting because I think he's alienated just about every team in the league. I think that he's a free agent. I think he's a 1-year contract. Corner makes sense too. I mean, it's the biggest need for the Bengals is offensive line, but it's not like let's not pretend that they can't upgrade at other positions as well.
Yeah.
And you've got all of free agency, and if you're
I also think they should. It's such a big need that free agency might be the time to do it and just figure it out then.
Yeah. I agree. All right, so last pick of the draft,
Detroit.
Desmond Ridder. Last pick of the whole draft. I've got Desmond Ridder to the Lions here. I think that has the potential to be the best quarterback in the class with his combination of IQ, and he's got some decent physical traits as well. Someone who I physically witnessed him rush for a 91-yard touchdown. I saw it happen with my own two eyes. He is someone who rushed for over 700 yards in a season multiple times. So he's got, he can scramble.
He's got wheels, man.
He's got.
I watched him hurdle a guy in person. He's sick.
Yes, he's good. He's got that athletic baseline. He's not a statue, and he's also knows what he's looking at and reads defense as well. I don't think with any other quarterback in this class, you get a undefeated Cincy team for 2 straight years, basically. So, yeah, I think that
here's what I know, man. I see all these people like Desmond Ridder at 1. His accuracy's terrible, dude. Anyway, I have Malik Willis as my number 1 quarterback. I'm like, making sense.
Malik Willis is not that inaccurate from a pure arm standpoint, but he does do some dumb things. But if you were like, okay, I have Matt Corral above him, or I think Malik Willis actually his accuracy is not that bad. That might be kind of a hot thing.
Then I'm being dumb, but it's not like there's some like any of the quarterbacks you put over him or don't have great accuracy,
right?
And Desmond Ridder made it to the college football playoffs, won all his home games at Cincinnati, played for my favorite team. Can't not go with him here at 32, I'm afraid. So that's actually who I have as well. Plus, it would be such a nice situation. It's like taking him last pick in the first round, so you have the 5th-year option. You've got a good offensive line. He doesn't have to start immediately because you have Goff. You can go out and get another receiver, and all of a sudden you have Hawkinson and Swift and Brown and whoever else you go get. And like that's kind of St. Brown. Yeah, that's kind of like a really good. That's kind of like a really good situation to be in for a quarterback. So yeah.
And you got first round picks these next couple of years because you got like 2 or 3 of them for Stafford. So yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
I would love taking a quarterback, but listen, either way, my QB1 or my QB2 is going to be a 2nd round pick because I do not have Desmond Ridder off the board and I do not have Matt Corral off the board. And I cannot in good faith leave my QB1 out of the first round. So with the last pick in the first round of the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions will take Matthew Corral.
Fair enough.
I love Matt Corral.
Matt Corral's, I don't know. He's interesting. He's awesome. He's got the tools. He's got the tools. He's fast. He's got a nice arm. He's got the tools. I'll say that. That's my nice thing I'll say about Matt Corral.
He's got some zip. Like I know you bashed the RPOs, but like on those slants, man, there is some weight behind that football.
They do get there quickly. Well, that's our vision for the first round. The first of we'll probably do a couple of these. Obviously, we won't want to do them like weekly or probably even bi-weekly. But
this is the only thing we will talk about for the rest of like spring up until the NFL draft.
We'll talk about basketball. We'll talk more basketball. We didn't talk about basketball because it's like, okay, dunk contest was bad. Cat won the 3-point contest. Good for him.
Bro, do you know how many? I had quite a few people be like tagging me in Cat winning the 3-point contest.
You're a hater. You doubted him.
I was a hater. I was like, there's no way he actually wins, right?
Oh, he can. He's a good 3-point shooter. I didn't think he would win. My pick was Luke Kennard, but good for Cat. The biggest win in Minnesota sports history. That's what I'll say. That's their only title.
Where does this rank all time among Minnesota sports moments?
Minnesota sports moments all time. Okay, number 1 was Kirby Puckett in like the 1983 World Series or whatever when they won the Twins won the World Series. The Minnesota Miracle, number 2. Aaron Rodgers breaking his collarbone, number 3. The Packers losing to the Seahawks, blowing the lead to the Seahawks in the 2014 NFC Championship game was the 4th best moment in Minnesota history. And the 5th best moment was Cat winning the dunk contest. Those are the top 5.
See, I can't even hate because like a lot of my all-time favorite Panthers sports moments are like the Saints
losing.
The Minnesota Miracle. 28-3 was awesome.
All-time great Browns moments. Cavs win the finals.
LeBron.
LeBron. All right. Well, we are really long. I don't know how long this episode is, but it's got to be like well over an hour. That pretty much wraps things up for us today. As always, tons and tons of content coming away on all platforms. We'll be back. What is today? Today's Sunday, so tomorrow's Monday. We'll be back Friday to probably talk about some basketball. Maybe hit on some more draft prospects. We'll see. Don't miss out on all the great content coming your way on all platforms. And as always, from Corn Boy, Bird Boy, and Lemon Boy, we will catch you all on the flippity flop.